Untouched fruit falls to the ground near the banks of the Mississippi River.
They talk about there's the most beautiful wild peach groves down in the Punch Bowl.
And researcher Paula Westbrook says, like a peach, the area known as the Devil's Punch Bowl has a pit, a mass grave from the 1860s. Historians estimate that in 1 year, up to 20,000 freed slaves died in contraband camps below these bluffs.
When the slaves were released from the plantations during the occupation, they overran Natchez, and the population went from about 10,000 to 120,000 overnight.
So they decided to build an encampment for them at Devil's Punch Bowl, which they walled off and wouldn't let them out.
Don Estes is the former director of the Natchez City Cemetery.
I just put my own tombstone right there. You see Estes?
Learning history's been his life. He says Union troops ordered recaptured black men to perform hard labor.
Right down, right here.
While women and children were all but left to die in the 3 Punch Bowl prisons.
Disease broke out among them, smallpox being the main one, and thousands died. They were begging to get out, turn me loose and I'll go home back to the plantation, anywhere but there. But they wouldn't let them out.
The Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said, bury them where they drop.
And I'd really like to show you more of this terrain, but it's just too thick with greenery. These bluffs are also straight down, so not only is it dangerous to navigate, it's still very mysterious back there.
It's a bed of alligators and snakes. It would take Indiana Jones to get back in there at this point. Wild peach trees that come up down there, but no one in Natchez will eat them because they know what the fertilizer was.
If this was about freeing slaves, why was people captured as contrabands? Your people fought with the Confederate, and Harriet Tubman was a spy for the Union. And then she'll snitch. Because what her job was to go into these different tribes and basically tell the white people, all right, they hiding over here behind the woods, it's 20 of them. Because she knew that she ain't had nothing to do with freeing slaves. But them Tubmans got a payout for Harriet's work as a spy for the Union Army, and it was called Liberia. They ran Liberia for a long time. In fact, there may be a Tubman in power over there right now. The Tubmans, they got Tubman University over there in Liberia too. They got a payout.
Fortifications during the Civil War. So these payrolls indicate the name of the slave owner, the name of the slave, the number of days they worked, where they worked, and how much the slave owner was paid for their service. A few payrolls include white employees, African Americans, free African Americans, or notations that a particular slave escaped or absconded. And these slave payrolls are being put online in our catalog, and we give you the link in the handout and on the screen. As an example, this is slave payroll 67, which happens to be blue in color. They actually come in various colors of off-white, blue, yellow, orange, green, brown, and even pink. And this one is from Nottoway County, Virginia, for work performed by slaves at Fort Clifton, Virginia in May and June of 1862. And you see in the left column the name of the slave owner, the second column the name of the slave, the third column the number of days employed, the fourth column the rate of pay. Here it was $10 a month. The next column the amount that they were paid based on the number of days they worked, a total, and then the slave owner had to appear in person to get payment. If the slave owner could not appear in person to get payment, then he or she could sign a power of attorney to authorize another individual to receive payment on their behalf.
In a system called sharecropping, farmers provided landowners with labor for a share of crops produced. But the system was rigged. Sharecroppers were often kept in perpetual debt.
One black sharecropper raised $500 worth of cotton, and his landlord told him, yeah, but you used $697 worth of supplies.